see your sponsors and.
You made eye contact.
No football experience. Work with kids.
You know how to herd kids. That's more than.
I saw the whole group kind of hurt, and I remembered when I was in charge of that, and I was like, thank God I was not in charge of that. It seemed their parents disappeared the minute they got to the field.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Funny how that happened.
I guess it just to bring it about.
It doesn't look like people don't.
Who?
think that that's right.
Jessica just let me know. Yep, she running late. And Casey is gonna be a little bit late.
Okay.
School separate.
Other than that.
All right, well, I've got 6:30, so I'm gonna call us to order. And then I need a motion to move to executive session to discuss the employment of a particular person or persons.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? All right. Yep.
I'll do it from
All right. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I need a motion to approve the minutes from the 8/13/24 regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? One of the under President's comments, it was brought to me and asked if we as a board wanted to explore becoming members of the New York State School Board Association. I believe, and help me make sure I get this accurate, we are part of the Central New York School Board Association, but not the New York State School Board Association. If I remember the history that I've been learning since the request came to me, in the past we had done that, and the cost was such that the benefits did not warrant the expense. So I asked the superintendent to help us out understanding some costs of that. I don't know if you had a chance to
We haven't done
review
that
that.
yet. We can have it for you for the next meeting, if you'd like.
So, are we gonna talk about it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to pursue doing it. I'm interested in going to the state convention, and so it's a substantial savings if we do that. And there's a lot of other classes that we can take that we save money on. I don't think people have taken advantage of some of the education that's out there for us, and maybe people would if it was more affordable to the district and more common, maybe. So I'm for it, but I want to access some of the classes. So I want to go to state convention and meet some other board members across the state. And I had a great time when I went to the Skinny Atlas event and sat in a room full of board members and listened to what people are doing in other districts. So I'd like to inspire us to educate ourselves more.
I feel the same way. I feel like there's some good opportunities. I mean, I took a course, the physical training one through them, and I feel like we have more opportunity. They provide some more opportunity, and also to the online learning stuff that they have. It does help educate, especially if we are dealing with, it seems like, newer board members and things like that. I mean, it definitely should be encouraging us to become more educated in that. So I feel like the benefit of it, if we use it. And I feel like that's the big piece, that if we do utilize it and the cost savings, because I believe the district has absorbed some of the cost of like having to send us to those trainings. Those were the only option we had. So I feel like if we utilize,
They
if we
weren't
do.
the only option, it was
Yeah.
just an alternate.
Yeah, so if we can, I definitely think bringing the costs and all that stuff to the table.
Yeah, we could do that, Kelly. We could share that with you, and then you guys can decide at the next meeting.
What does it cost to be in the Central New York School Board Association?
I don't know off the top of my head, do you?
I have to look it up.
Yeah.
So we can
We
just,
could share, I'll share that when we share it for comparison's sake.
also what the price break is like for the conference in New York City, if it's enough of a price break to warrant paying in, or if it's just, is it cost effective to pay the full price and not pay the membership?
Can you also include in the information whatever is left from the line item of this budget that we've already used some for the retreat, whatever is left?
Right.
If we could put the line.
Remaining
item.
balance, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
We can do
Do
that.
you guys care? Do you have anything to say?
I'm happy to look into it. I'd like to see the numbers anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Make an informed decision on it. I like it.
Okay, we can do that.
Great. I have no correspondence or updates to the agenda, so I'll turn it over to you, Superintendent. for your
Okay,
comments.
great. I've got a couple things. First, I wanted to give you a brief update from the update that we had last meeting, our capital project progress. We are pretty much where we were the last time we talked, with the exception of 3 classrooms at the elementary school. So if you remember, when the folks from the Chase spoke to us last time, they talked about the fact that the site work, the outside work, although it didn't look like it at the time, and it might not even look like it today, but they're making great progress at the intermediate junior high, where the bulk of that work is taking place with our new parent drop-off loop and parking area. That is scheduled to be ready to go and be ready to go for lining on Thursday. So that's good news. I let our staff know that starting tomorrow, they were had unfettered access to their classrooms to get ready for next week when our kids come on Wednesday. As we mentioned when LaChase was here, there are 2 bathrooms, 2 at the elementary, 2 at the high school, that will not be ready for our kids. But that was a decision that we had to make back a few weeks ago, and the building leaders have identified what bathrooms needed to be available in areas so kids didn't have to walk too far. So we feel pretty good about that. But the 3 classrooms at the elementary school, they were hopeful. They've been in progress for a long time, and it's the case, especially in a building that's as old as the elementary school. The scope of work once they got into the classrooms was much larger than they had anticipated. I walked around last Thursday, and in the corner of the elementary building behind the little white church, most of the brick was gone on that side and on the side that's closest to the parking lot off of James Street. They really found some deterioration there. They were planning to do windows, but it's difficult to put the windows in when the brick has decayed to such a degree. So they're still working at it, but it doesn't look like that we're going to have those rooms available for the beginning of school. The good news this year anyway at the elementary school is we have swing space. And so Doug Pasquarella has already asked and notified each of the teachers that this is going to be taking place. So hopefully we can make the best of a not so great situation. So you know, there are going to be punch list items in all of the buildings where I have another meeting tomorrow where we'll sit and look at those and you know, get an idea of what it is that we're accepting that won't be ready. Things that hopefully are, you know, our intention is to not affect students and staff when they come back. So all in all, a lot of work done this summer, and a lot will be done once the school year starts with those punch list items. But we've done fairly well. I'm very happy with the amount of work that's got done over the summer. I was really worried that we would have some major items left, but it looks like we'll be okay. Questions about that?
Did they give us a time frame for the elementary? Or is it still?
Well, when I had Doug reach out to the staff, we let them know it might be mid-October. Hopefully it'll be before that, but it's always better, you know, to give the worst case scenario and then come in earlier. But they have made quite a bit of progress. They were waiting on some steel before they could do some brick. This was one builds on the other. Steel's in, the brickwork is being done. The windows obviously are what's left, and then the casework, the shelving and stuff on the inside. So all in all, they've got a plan. Now they just need to execute the plan. And then the last one I wanted to mention is the you know, the press box was a concern. The press box is arriving tomorrow. We're hopeful that the company gets what they call a pick plan in the business to LaChase, which allows them to then place the press box. They haven't done that yet, and I was just talked to Lee Stett from LaChase before I came in here, and he was going to reach out to the company that built the press box and make sure we hit that pick plan so we can get it put in place. Scoreboard was put in. Now we just need to connect the two once both are in place. So a lot of great stuff happening. A lot of work between now and Wednesday when the kids come back.
I might have missed this one if it's already been done, but for the drop-off over at the intermediate, what's the plan for kind of letting folks know the new route?
Yep, so we have Kevin Weinheimer's coming down on Friday. We're going to do videos both at the elementary school and at the intermediate junior high and get those out to families through Parent Square.
Yeah.
And Kevin will do his social media blitz so that we get it out to the best of our ability. I've got meetings on Thursday with the building leaders in each of those buildings, and we're gonna sit and identify the number of people that we need outside. We'll overstaff it for a few weeks. You know, I've also talked with Chief Pittman. Chief Pittman is going to have people that the village are going to help us with to direct traffic, stop traffic, so cars can get out, buses can get out and all that stuff. So we, you know, on paper, sounds like we have a good plan.
Sure.
And we'll try to execute that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did the intermediate playground get finished?
Well, they have the hardscape is been put in. I don't know
The
that.
basketball?
For the basketball.
That's
I don't,
awesome.
it's not fully finished yet. They were still working on it today when I drove by, but we'll get an update on that tomorrow. It's their intention to have it done though. Any other questions about that?
The press box, that was prefab, right?
It is
Yeah,
prefab,
perfect.
but there's still obviously work that needs to be
Right.
done once it gets here, so it'll take a little bit. But we're hopeful that we have it, you know, sooner rather than later.
So if we want to do a walking tour of some of this work that's been going on, do you want us to email you and CC principal or email them? How would you like us to handle that?
Well, because, I mean, quite honestly, I'd like to show it off. If on Tuesday is our staff day, after, most of the day is going to be the staff in their rooms getting ready. So in the afternoon, if board members wanted to, or even Tuesday night, if you wanted to, we wanted to schedule a time, I'd be happy to kind of cart everybody around and show the spaces. It'll be as close to complete as we're gonna be before the kids come on Wednesday. So if you want to do that, I'll send an email out and see who can be around.
You gonna drive the bus?
I've always wanted to drive a bus, I've never been allowed, and I don't think
Still
I
not.
know.
Actually, I think we're gonna stay with that.
I know, I still don't have, if the truth be known, I drove one, my dad had a hunting camp that was a school bus when I was younger, but
It's a little different.
I may have driven that. But anyway, so I will send an email out about Tuesday afternoon. Kelly, could you remind me, please? Thank you. All right. And then the only other thing I had for tonight was in the last board meeting, as an informational item, I had listed the board committees and had asked if you could take a peek at those and let me know. I had one board member that was able to do that. I thought we would go real quickly, and if people want to volunteer right now, I'll write you in. If we have more than we need, we can talk about later about how to fix that. So last year we had 3 members on the audit committee, and I hadn't had anybody say they wanted to do that yet. It's a bundle of fun. Eddie? Anybody else? Casey? One other if we could.
Perfect, he's not here.
I feel like an auctioneer. Stacy, excellent. Okay, how about budget and finance? Kevin has already said yes. Last year we had 4. We definitely should have 3. Eddie?
How often do they meet?
As needed. More during the budget development time. How many times did you say, Mike? 5,
Is
6?
that April or is that January? when
We
it's budget
start
development?
at the end of January and go through April.
I was
Amy?
on last year, I think.
John? Amy, going once?
Casey and
Easy.
Okay, if you're not comfortable, don't do it. How about policy committee?
I'll stay on that one.
Okay, Amy's on that, Stacy's on that. One more, typically we have 3.
Casey was on that one last year.
This is not a meeting you wanna miss, right? How about, I'll leave Casey with a question mark.
I think it was the same work
Okay.
that I did last year.
All right, okay, community engagement. Last year we had 4. They were Megan, of the board members currently here, they were Megan, Jessica, and Casey.
I'll do it again.
Okay, Megan, thank you.
We should probably volunteer Jessica.
I will, she can tell me no if she wants to, right? Okay? How about the facilities? We haven't met much at all. We need to meet. So, last year Eddie and Amy were on it. Amy, you wanna stay there, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Eddie, you wanna stay there?
I do.
Anybody else?
We got all that money that Lee talked about, like
Yeah.
that
John?
500,000.
Talked about my absence, so.
Yeah. I got some ideas.
How about ILC? Kevin has said yes. Kevin? Megan said yes. Aaron, you and John were on it last year. Any interest in staying there?
Again, I was gonna let folks pick into where they want to and fill in the
Okay.
gaps.
How often
Eric?
do you meet?
Aaron,
Like
can you
during
do
the
it?
day, right?
I switched to the
Okay.
facility.
All right, let's move on
How
to,
often?
let's move on to PLC. That's the group that organizes Staff Development Day. Days.
Oh,
Days.
oh,
Stacy?
That's the put the fund together one?
It can be, yes.
How often
Well,
do-
it's all fun.
How often do they meet?
We're gonna meet 4 times this year,
Is that during the day? Or at night?
3:45.
You like that 3:45?
I do, I love that time
You
slot.
like that slot.
You want to sign on for that?
Is it, do you give like 4 to 6 weeks notice?
I'm gonna send the
Meeting?
schedules out this week
I'll do it.
for the year.
If it's that
Okay.
put together, I'll do it.
Okay, I put you down. Okay, Kevin, you want to do that? Thank you. All right, we have 3 more, folks. The Safety Committee. Megan, Jessica, and Casey Slade were on it last year.
I'll do it again.
Megan,
You know what, I'll do it because I'm interested in the AI stuff,
Okay.
so I think that might be.
Okay.
relevant.
all right, Social Emotional Learning. Megan and Jessica were on it last year.
I'll do it again.
Megan? Okay. All right, last is Student Engagement. Last year, Eddie and John were on it. John? Eddie? We had one more, if someone is dying to get on this.
Chris is gonna do student engagement.
Chris, excellent.
Awesome.
Thanks, Chris.
You should be on community engagement too.
All right.
Talk about how to communicate, right? Okay. All right, awesome. Thank you for your time.
I'm sorry, I wanted to write this down. What was the last one?
I'm gonna email everybody
Oh,
out.
okay.
I'll email everything to everyone. Okay? Then I'll make a copy so you have it too. All right, that's what I had. Thank you.
All right. Moves us to our board presentation. We were gonna hear about summer curriculum development.
Yes, so as you know, we allot a certain amount of money each summer for our curriculum development work. Since Jeff has arrived, we have put a very organized process in place where we, on a schedule, look at our curriculum for each of the subject areas, have teachers come in over the summer, and make modifications to that. In some cases, small modifications, in some cases, larger ones. And I asked him if he could share some of the work that was done this summer that will be positively impacting kids this fall.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom. So this summer, for those of you that have been on the board a while, we have quickly about ended year 3 of our 4-year curriculum review cycle. As Tom said, every year, ILC oversaw the selection of what subject areas based on the rollout of new standards in certain subject areas that the New York State Education Department was engaging schools across the state in. So this summer was science, art, and music. Tomorrow, believe it or not, we still have teachers coming in. The junior high science team will be in for a few hours. So we had over 75 teachers in this summer. So believe it or not, other than the capital project, we had actual human beings coming in. Each teacher was allotted between 25 and 30 hours to work with their collaborative teams. That's one of the caveats of writing curriculum. Unless you're a singleton, you're required to write curriculum with other teachers. And that is really the foundation of our curriculum process, is that it's our goal to put the curriculum development improvement process into the hands of teachers. The best curriculum that can be written is written by our staff for our students. We've created a process whereby teachers, we centralize the curriculum. And that's also a goal for some of our veteran teachers. This curriculum that they're developing is their legacy. That's what they're leaving to the fond memories of them being here. When we hire a new person to replace them, we can physically give them something to teach from. Because in most districts, you don't get that. You get keys to the classroom and 30 years worth of stuff to inherit. So we want to avoid that at all costs. So again, end of year 3, science, music, and art this summer. Next summer, we're quickly already engaging with social studies. They're the last on the list. And then the year after, we start the process all over again with math. And math this time around will be a little more efficient process because we're not starting from scratch. So that's where the improvement process comes in. First we develop it, we use it for a couple of years, and then we try to improve it. So again, over 75 teachers came in this morning, or this summer, to work on curriculum, and the products have been outstanding. I can't say anything but positive things about the teachers who've come in and worked and collaborated to create something unique and special for our kids. So when our kids are learning from our teachers, they're fully engaged, they're fun activities, and I'm excited what we're seeing in classrooms. And I think our administrators can speak to a lot of this manifesting in the classroom. That's the whole idea, is the curriculum manifests itself through instruction. So that's, as administrators, we talk about the process, and it's our job to make sure the process happens, but we couldn't do it without the teachers and their creative juices, and there's nothing bad happens when teachers get together and write curriculum. So that's the short part of my presentation. I did want to add, if it's okay, an update on new staff orientation, if that's okay. Yeah. Today we had our new staff orientation. We had all of our new teachers and teaching assistants come in for a full day of learning and food and fun times. But it is really, and we've hired well. We have certainly, the class of 2024 will make Homer a better school district. There's no doubt. I'm engaging those folks, for those folks that were here today. But I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to many people. It is a collective effort to have this day be a success. And I want to thank personally Lancey Collins, Jenny Guy, Renee Weeks, Morgan Seibel, Dee Dee Gallagher, Joan Redfield, Lisa Miner, the Teaching Assistant Association leadership, Michaela Barber and her group, and lastly the HTA bargaining unit leadership team to come in and engage with our new staff about their contracts and their rights under the contract. So again, full day. Luckily there's no test at the end because they were really overwhelmed, but they have everything they need information-wise to get the year started. So my hat's off to everybody who was involved. In my mind, it was a great day. Any questions about summer curriculum development or new staff orientation?
At the end of the curriculum development, are they producing a document?
Yes. Yeah. So we ask teachers to develop at the unit level, not at the lesson level. So when we sit in a room, we're all teaching 9th grade geometry. We sit down. We create it at the unit level. We prioritize our curriculum based. We select our essential standards. Right. It'd be virtually impossible to teach every standard that is in every subject area. It would take approximately about 22 years. Last time I counted, we have kids between 13 and 14 years. So teachers have to select certain standards to teach, and we have to forget the rest, right? So we plan at the unit level, and then we have an electronic curriculum file that every teacher has access to, that they get into it multiple times a year, they look at it, they revise it, so they can revise it in real time. We had no housing mechanism prior to this process. This process has allowed us to build it as we go. So if we hire a new social studies teacher or a math teacher, we'll give them access to this. They can peruse it before they ever step foot into a classroom and teach kids to kind of know what the curriculum is. There's a lot of reason for that. We want to make sure that if we have 8 sections of 3rd grade, that every kid is taught the same concepts and skills, and it's not this teacher's doing one thing, this teacher's doing another. Yes, the creativity, the lessons may look a little different based on the creativity of the teacher, but at the end of the day, our kids are being exposed and being attempted to learn the same concepts and skills across the grade level and in every subject area. A long answer to a great question. Good answer.
So I'm curious with the trend, is it moving towards a hands-on? Is it going through their Chromebooks? Like, what's that part of it looking like?
That's up to each individual teacher. Like I said, we plan at the unit level. We don't ask teachers to develop individual lessons during the summer. That's kind of the next phase of this process when we start recycling back through the 4-year process. But to your point, yes, I'm seeing great discussions around how are we going to have kids create more, how are we going to have kids collaborate more, because that's what our students are telling us. And we've done these focus groups with students since I've been here every single year, and they've been very, from the intermediate school kids all the way up to the high school kids. We want to create more, we want to collaborate more, we want to build things in our classrooms. So that's what our teachers are doing. And it's exciting to see.
textbooks still getting ordered, or is that being phased out?
I don't think since I've been here, I've processed a mass order of textbooks. That's kind of becoming a thing of the past, really, ordering class set. I mean, you may see a class set here and there, but it's not ordering one for every kid and they lug it back and forth, When I first started teaching at the American Journey that covered 7th and 8th grade social studies, which I thought was the curriculum, and I made kids take that home every night. Why, right? So we want to avoid that. Our kids' backs are already hurt from lugging the backpacks around.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It may be early to look at this, but I'm guessing in the curriculum review cycle, we have an eye towards what our friends, the Blue Ribbon Committee at the
Yep.
Board of Regents have said,
Yep.
the portrait of the graduate, so that
Yep.
we're already starting to think, we're just getting used to one set of standards, so it's logical that New York State would say, here's a new set.
That's absolutely. Yep. Once we try to perfect this set, we're going to give you a new set.
We wouldn't want to work one thing for a while so you can measure.
That's
it.
exactly right.
Okay.
And to your point, Aaron, that'll be some of the work coming out of ILC, also our STEAM advisory group. Some of that work will be coming out of there as well.
Is band included in the music part, or are they separate?
Yep, music, all performing
All
arts. Yep.
Okay.
All right, then we'll move to new business. Motion to approve the reports from the Committee on Preschool Special Education.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Were these children that were coming in with IEPs that have been switched over to not necessary anymore, or are these children that we had and then after their pre-K year, we've decided that they no longer need the IEPs?
Maybe a combination of both of those things.
Okay. There's quite a few that, so I thought, oh, that might be good. A lot of them are speech.
Well,
A lot
one of
of
the things
speech.
we've seen over the years is our kids, because we've gotten to them early, we've been able to remediate the concerns so they don't need that service anymore. It's
So
been
I
a
was
nice,
just wondering if they were like a
Yeah.
younger program coming in.
Further questions or comments?
Chris will be sorry he missed that
I
question.
know, I was
You were looking for
hoping
him,
he'd
I know.
be here.
Wait till I see you.
Hi, Chris.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve the report from the Committee on Special Education.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve the authorization of emergency application of pesticides on sports fields and other green spaces.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Why is the emergency?
Sorry, John?
Why is it considered emergency?
Because we have weeds, and so that's just the language that they use.
okay.
There's nothing that's dire that's going
Is there
on.
an outbreak of?
No,
or something?
no. If you're talking about my yard, yes, mine looks
Nasty
like,
case of crabgrass.
mine too.
It just can't tolerate it. All right, any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Now we get to the one that tests me every year. Motion to approve the tax certiorari resolutions.
Well done.
Thank you. I've been practicing all week. I wish I was lying.
So moved.
Stacy,
Thank you.
questions or comments?
It's slow.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? It's hard driving tonight, I don't know. Motion to approve personnel items as presented by Superintendent Turk.
So moved.
Questions or comments?
I think it's great to see so many retired still interested.
Yeah.
I'm
Those are some good people.
Well, having the retired folks.
yeah,
still some-
almost all of them, yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Additional comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Brings us to informational items.
Yes, I just have one for you tonight, and that's the district-wide school safety plan. By regulation, every year, we must have a 30-day comment period that then is followed by your approval after any comments are brought up that we want to incorporate into the plan. So I put it in here. If you haven't had a chance, it's quite lengthy, but we worked with our school safety officer. This year we did trim down some things that were not required in there that are already in the building level emergency plans. But if you have any questions or thoughts about that between now and the end of the 30-day period, let me know and we can discuss those.
This is the point where we usually hear from our community. No one has signed up to be heard. Anybody wishing to be heard this evening? We will accept interpretive dances or any of that. All right. And we have no board committee reports, no district committee reports. And so that moves us to board member activities.
One of our junior high teachers, our ag teacher, won a class in a championship at State Fair, and there was lots of people to watch. That was Mrs. Sharp. So it's a kind of a big deal in the agriculture world.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mrs. Sharp.
Had to come in and spend a few minutes this morning with our new teaching staff, and teachers and teaching assistants, and say hello on your behalf. And it was a very brief time because their day was very full and they weren't here to listen to me. So, but it was good to greet all the folks there.
I've been enjoying Cortland County's Lime Hollow and Center for the Arts and the CRT. And I truly hope that that is still something we're going to continue to do this school year and take field trips and utilize some of the best things we have to offer right here in our backyard. They're pretty amazing.
Upcoming events, Superintendent.
A big one to mark on your calendar. Tuesday, September 3rd, Wednesday, September 4th. I don't know if we formally have invited you to the Tuesday Staff Development Day, but if we haven't, we always begin here 8:30 in the auditorium at the high school. If you wanted to stop in and take part in that, we have refreshments to start with the group and then pull folks into the auditorium and kind of kick off the year in a positive fashion. So if you're able to join us on Wednesday morning, that would be awesome. It's good for folks to be able to put a face with a name. Obviously, if you can't, I understand you've got a life to live as well. So we're looking forward to getting folks back here next week.
And with that, that moves us to, I need a motion to move to executive session to discuss the employment of history of a particular person or persons.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. We will move to executive session once,
Yep.
maybe we'll start some of our conversation.